Hello, my name is Jessica Pidcock, and today I am going to argue and inform you that zoos may be a fun and exciting place to visit. However, they are another way of animal cruelty and should be eliminated altogether. We have probably all visited zoos at least once in our lifetime, but while visiting these facilities, did you stop to think that these places are doing more harm than good to the animals? Today, according to zoo statistics, we have approximately 350 zoos in the US and Canada. This means that there are 751,931 animals living in cages 365 days a year. And more than 112 million people visit zoos in the US and Canada every year. Many people aren't aware of the cruelty behind zoos. Captive animals are deprived of everything that is natural and important to them. Lions even spend 48% of their time pacing, and this is a sign of distress according to captiveanimals.org. Not a lot of people are animal lovers, and some prefer to never be around animals. But if you are one of those that have visited zoos or love animals, ask yourself whether zoos are really good for the animals or not. Zoos cannot provide the space the animal needs to survive a happy, fulfilling life. Zoos should be banned for the following reasons. First, the animals are locked up behind bars like they are in jail. Next, the animals are distressed. And finally, it is almost impossible for zoos to provide and meet all the expectations and needs of animals. To understand how the animals are tortured, you must first understand how living in a zoo is similar to living in a jail. My first argument focuses on the lifestyle of a zoo animal. Animals should not live behind bars for educational and exhibition purposes. Animals should not have to suffer for our entertainment. According to the Webster Dictionary, the definition of a zoo is a collection of living animals usually put on public display. A cage for a single animal averages only 20 feet wide and 15 feet deep, and only increases by 50% when they add an additional animal to it. And those statistics came from zooguidelines.com. The standard jail cell is 6 foot by 8 foot, and this is from dimensionalinfos.com. So an animal does not deserve to be locked up, and it only gets a little over 2 times the amount of space a criminal gets. Now that we can see just how zoos are bad, it becomes obvious that we should eliminate them altogether. Unfortunately, those that visit these facilities support the captivity of these animals and do not realize how lonely and trapped and bored these creatures get, which leads me to my second claim. Animals are distressed from the environment that they are submitted to. Adequate space cannot be provided. Tigers and lions have around 18,000 times less space in zoos than they would in the wild. Birds' wings may be clipped so they cannot fly anymore. Animals who naturally live in herds or family groups are often kept alone or only kept in pairs. Some animals are neglected and left living without regular feedings and water, and this leads to weight loss and fatigue. Animals suffer from zoochosis. Zoochosis is an immense mental suffering of self-mutilation from biting, head swaying, pacing, circling, bar biting, neck twisting, or excessive grooming. Now, how many times have you visited the zoo and actually witnessed one of these things occurring? Almost all of us have a good memory of going to the zoo. Zoos are the only places locally that you're able to see your favorite animals up close. But are we thinking about the animals or our own pleasure? The lack of care and distress of animals are torturing. Despite what animals are suffering, with daily defenders argue that zoos are educational and are used for entertainment purposes. The claim that zoos are necessary for studying animals for scientific reasons, entertaining and educational purposes. Alternatives that we could choose would be watching the National Geographic, Animal Planet, or getting magazines or watching animals on YouTube. This way we'd be able to view animals in their natural state. Zoos claim to educate the public about endangered species. The majority of animals in zoos are not endangered. Others may have some good reason for zoos to be open to the public. This allows people to view all different kinds of animals and save some species of animals. Do we want animals to suffer for our education purposes, though? And how many people actually leave the zoo learning something about the animals? There are tours you can go on to view animals in their natural habitat and not suffering and caged. You can go on safari trips and view them in their natural habitats. Zoos can only hold a limited amount of animals also, so breeding is not logical either. Clearly, the idea that there's a need for zoos is a misconception. Let's reevaluate the reasons why zoos should be banned. Zoos have many more negative outlooks than positive outlooks. They can never give the animal enough space to live. Animals are known to be prey. They survive on their own, hunt for themselves, and roam free wherever they please. There's no reason we should capture them and put them in cages for our own enjoyment. Finally, more bad things are happening in these facilities than positive. I hope after providing you with facts about zoos that I have made you realize that zoos really are bad. And maybe next time you decide to go to a zoo, you'll take a second look at the animals and ask yourself, is this really the best thing for them? Am I supporting animals getting tortured? With all of these conditions considered, it's clear that zoos are bad for the animals, and the right thing to do is get rid of them altogether. Thank you.